moment I understood the weakness of my flesh. It disgusted me. I craved the strength and certainty of steel. I aspired to the purity of the blessed machine. Your kind cling to your flesh, as if it will not decay and fail you. One day the crude biomass that you call the temple will wither, and you will beg my kind to save you. But I am already saved. For the machine is immortal. I serve the Omnisire.
Ah, that intro. Definitely a good one, especially for the Mechanicus. Hello there everyone, this is Iron Mark III and welcome to Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicus. As an Ark drifts slowly in the background. A lesser known ship until recently, but hey, the Ark Mechanicus is the Mechanicus version of a battleship as far as Warhammer 40,000 spaceships go. So, yes. Sadly we don't get to control this thing, but we are at least, well, you know, in it. So, there. Anyway, Mechanicus. This is a turn-based combat tactics game. Where we play as the great cog boys of the Imperium of Man. I'm sorry, there's no Emperor bothering here. It is all in the name of the Omnisire. Yes. And we are facing the pure heretical supremacy of Necrons. Another race which doesn't tend to get focused on that much as far as Warhammer 40,000 games go. At least to my experience. Oh well. So, what are we going to do here? This is going to be a play. So, obviously. So, we're going to start a new game. I've played enough to know what I'm doing, at the very least. And we'll see what we can do. Skipping the tutorial. Well, the tutorial is kind of fixed. So, I think I'm going to... I'm not sure if I should. I will enable Iron Man, though, so no saves coming. Permadeath, maybe? I'm a little bit shaky on permadeath. I'm guessing permadeath, if you lose one of your cog boys, sorry, your tech priests, yes, lose one of your tech priests, permadeath means that it will give you a new tech priest, but it will be level 1. No levels at all. If it actually removed the tech priest completely, that would be broken, essentially. Considering it's so darn hard to even get a tech priest in the first place. But hey, details. Let's see. Casual, definitely not. Ooh, 200 starting Blackstone. That is a very small amount. But the hit points and reduced enemies is definitely something. Normal is flat. Let's see, 25% extra Necron HP. 25% extra Necrons, plus 1 extra fights, not active during early game. So yeah, the deeper in you go, the harder it gets, by the way. But, well, that's pretty normal, that, so I don't know why I mentioned it. But plus 1 extra fights means each mission would give me an extra fight to deal with. Or very hard, still plus 1, but 50% more hit points and 50% more Necrons. You know what, very hard. I have Iron Man, I won't have permadeath, and I'm going to skip the tutorial since I know how to control the game already. That will do. I'll do permadeath on my own darn time. So, new game. Yes, and also, by the way, this is a game given to me by my significant other. So, if they are what happen to come across this, thank you again for that. I do like me some Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicum. Yes. Not quite the form of artificial immortality I'd go for. I'd honestly prefer the ones found in... oh, what is it? The name of the game escapes me right now. Singularity something or other? I don't know. It'll come to me later on, probably. But anyway, welcome to the bridge of the Ark. Yes. The story to this point is that our ship has arrived above a planet. It is a bit battered, and there's various minor details happen, like holes in the hull, storm damage, the armory getting vented into space, you know, that kind of thing. Though that said, this mess is pretty normal for the Mechanicus. They don't tend to be very tidy about this kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, it shows all technology, but this is all normal. Anyway, because we lost everything, we have limited tech reserves. There are designs and things around, but we just don't have any of it. And these are canticles, which we can unlock by achieving certain things as we go. And they give us one-shot powers, basically, during our deployments. Ooh, a mysterious question mark. I have no idea what that is. But yeah, so there are different power levels of these things as you use stuff, so you can get stronger versions over time. Though generally they are single use, as I said before. And the other thing we can do is we can go to the cohort section and view our units. These guys at the top here, these are supporting troops. So far we've only got a menial servitor, which is basically a human that's been lobotomized and converted to a dedicated purpose as a servant for some other cause, basically. But the servitor has a mechanical claw arm which can deal a small amount of damage. It has very little health, but it's very cheap, and when it gets hit by an enemy, we get a free cognition point, because tech priests enjoy watching suffering. Well, but they are learning about the effectiveness of enemy weapons by watching these guys getting shot at. So there you go. And then down here we've got our two tech guys. We've got Magos Manarius and Magos Jeremiah to start out with. And they are as basic can be. They don't even have the weapons equipped yet, which we must do before we begin. Well, right now they've only got a single augmentation capacity slot, this little wrench icon, and everything you equip to them requires those to fit. Right now it's only like one each. Can I upgrade these guys? I mean, I've got like 300, I think, total there. A single upgrade will cost me... Yeah, I can get both these guys to level 2. Okay. Let's do that to start out with, at the very least. Get some basic ranged abilities going. Though, unfortunately, that means I have to pick what I want to do with these guys. Let's have Jeremiah be a melee type, because a melee type is actually pretty good. So I'm going to send him into the Explorator tree, which tends to have like things that help with close combat abilities and things like that. And if we max it out, we get the Traveller, which is if no ranged weapons equipped, +1 to damage, +3 meters movement, +1 to physical and energy armor types, and an extra percentage chance to do critical hits. So, you know, these guys can get some powerful stuff if you specialize them enough. Or maybe a Lex Mechanic would be a good one. Actually, I cranked up the difficulty, didn't I? Maybe an Engineer would be better. The starting Engineer ability is not very good, let's be honest. Passive negative effects last one turn less on this particular Tech Priest. Active, cleanse the target of any negative effects, so it's more of a support type. But it gets auto repair, then it can heal remotely with a 3-turn cooldown. Then repair items become more effective, and then it gets the ability to choose some extra abilities like restore all hit points to all tech priests, or restore all hit points to all troops. The servitor is a troop, by the way. The tech priests are the tech priests, surprisingly. I don't know. You know what, I'm going to go with the melee, because melee gets this at level 3. Escape. Avoid all opportunity attacks. So if an enemy gets too close to you, you can back off without getting swiped at, which is useful. So let's go ahead and upgrade that one. Yes. Praise the Omnissiah. Thank you, Jeremiah. And Menarius is going to get an upgrade as well, but I'll give you a Dominus upgrade, which is +4 range to all ranged weaponry. Ta-da! There we go, okay. Now then, we've got 2 on each, 2 slots on each, and Jeremiah is going to be our melee type, so he of course gets a power axe. Right, and he's also going to get a phosphor blaster, which, by the way, he doesn't bother holding. He's strapped it onto his waist, apparently. But there you go. This is the cog boys at work. While Menarius, since he's going to be our range spec, is going to get double blasters. But yeah, each person gets 3 weapon slots, as far as I know, 2 range slots and 1 melee slot, and you can't interchange them. So I couldn't fit a 3rd NG weapon, as far as I can tell. It's like, nope. Because apparently holding guns is too menial for a tech priest. The more you know. Anyway, that's our guy's setup. Let's actually get started, because we are over 10 minutes in already. We've got 5 portraits up here, though only 2 of them currently have deployments. But these are the section leaders, effectively, on the ship, and they will have tasks for our limited forces to try and do. By the way, unlike in the intro, these guys speak in binary cant, so you can hear the sound going off when you click on them, but you don't hear actual words. Anyway, the killing jar. We could get an Infestus. Ooh, single target melee attack. Ah, so there's an attack type mechadendrite. I'm immediately tempted to go for that one. Though against Necron warriors and scarabs. Okay. And Videx would give us a macro stubber ranged weapon, which deals physical damage rather than the energy damage of our basic pistol, but it costs cognition to use it. We'll get to that in a bit. And it also gives us a Curatio Claw, which is a cognition powered healing unit, though it's more powerful than the mechadendrite equivalent. By the way, Videx is our chaplain kind of guy. He's responsible for our spiritual purity, faith in the Omnissiah, belief in the Emperor, and burn all the heretics because heretics. While Skyvola is more of a tinkerer. He likes to get his hands on shiny things. However, he does have some very shiny things available, one of which I've never seen before. So I'm going to go into here in the El Cropis sector. Begin her... Oh, it's a her! I always thought that Skyvola was a he. Huh. Oh well. Begin a research into the secrets of the Necrons and ask for specimens of the enemy to be gathered from the Tomb World, which is where we've wound up, though warp storms and damage to the ship are interfering. Okay, next up, we can deploy our forces. We know what we're against: Necron warriors and scarabs. Deploy both tech priests, and I'll fill up the rest of my shuttle's limited space with servitors. Notice there's a 0 cost in Blackstone, which is the material I use to level up my guys for deploying a servitor. All other troop types will cost varying amounts of Blackstone to bring into play. And then Canticles, Litany of Life, restore 5 hit points to the active units. I don't think I have... Yeah, I've got no others. So this is all I can do for now. Still, we are at the start of the game, so let us begin. Asked you on the mission because of experience in surveying alien artifacts and organisms. Faustinius, actually, that is our head Magos, the one in charge of the Ark and all forces contained therein. It's this guy up here on the top. And so the heretics... Yep, see, Videx is already weighing in because, you know, spiritual purity. Yeah, it's kind of very logical though. Your assertion equals false if objective / concern / offense go to different mission. Very logical structuring for her. And yeah, VidX though will not accept it. As you leave you free to do as well. A dereliction of logic. Skyvoa. Macarians 16.4. Watch your brother, for his sin of heresy is thy sin of tolerance. This guy is a specialist in Emperor bothering. Evaluation commences. Plus wonders, plus opportunities, plus secrets. Rare chance for discovery / intelligence on Xenos. Must not fail to exploit. And yeah, there you go. That's her official title, Tech Acquisitor. The logic of the museum eludes our leader. His emotional cause returned only peril to our mission personnel and the threat of awakening them. Which is why she's going on the mission in the first place. My role equals gather intelligence / seek truth / return to human comprehension. Dictates of Mars retrieval. Gather knowledge for the good of all. All in capital letters. And of course, she's being questioned because our boss wants to know how she's going to go about that. Field operations in person equals suboptimal. Sending tech priests instead equals optimal. First objective, gather field specimens for study. Location, Tomb of Acropis. Commence immediately. Well, there you go. The boss just got told. We are going in. Now, this is at the beginning. So we get low tech gear and stuff like that. This is one of the other people. This is Kepra? Kepra, I think is how you pronounce it. She is in charge of our security and the Skitari personnel. Give reports. There should be plenty of samples in there for you to collect, Magos. Of course, but first you have to kill them. So, yeah. At least Skylar knows her limits. My talents equals dissection after the fact. I leave location / identification / execution to your tech priests. And Faust is trusting that this will be worth the effort. They're no mere labour servitors. Yeah, you can see what I mean about the servitors being really important here. We are risking these tombs. These are men and women, fellow devotees of the cult Mechanicus. And the servitors are so much chopped liver. Yes. Agreed, Mag. Oh, here comes the Tech Acquisitor. Valid point raised. Ensure human corpses are returned as well. Plus opportunity to study the effect of Necron technology on human flesh. Welcome to 40K. Okay, right, so here we are. We are on deployment, the overall deployment screen now. Flashing diamond is a mission location points. There will be more than later on, we are right at the beginning. Exclamation marks means there is an event of some sort. Green icons mean that there is a rune chamber, which you can learn from as you do them to learn what responses to the runes are good or bad. They can have varying effects as well, but the first time through them you're blind, basically. So anyway, let's continue. Up the top left here, Tomb Awake level. As these bars fill, which can come from events, or they fill automatically during a fight, the Necrons in this deployment get bonuses. And at the end of the mission, it empties, and that goes into the overall tomb world that we're currently on, waking up further. So that is our mission clock. We're trying to do as much as we can before the tomb world awakens and kills us all. Anyway, let us deploy. Every time we go to a new tile, it will add a point. Or is it 2 points? Let's click and find out. So my people wander in. It adds 2 points. There we go, 2 bars to the awakeness level. And every time it fills up, it will carry over to the next one. And the Necrons get a bonus. But we are in a glyph chamber now. So the panel controls a heavy door leading to a treasure room beyond which is filled with cognition. If we can work out the right commands, we can reap the rewards within. However, we have no indication what is right and what is wrong here. There's really no hints as far as I'm aware. I mean, those aren't even buttons or anything like that. So basically I have to guess, and then the answer will be recorded, and we'll know later if it was a good or bad one. And that was a bad one. Okay, so next time I come across that particular pattern, I will know that the one I just clicked is bad, and so it'll be highlighted in red. But a container of some sort seemingly has raw binary seeding within, clearly of xenos origin. Sparks of data leak through the age sealant used to contain the treasure within, and -2 hit points to my melee guy. Excellent. Other than that, though, no real change. So it's just a minor dinging of one of my tech priests. Though that said, this early in the game, they are still very squishy. Okay, next place. Commence enthusiasm. Opportunity. One of the Necron warforms remains at rest after the rest of the form constructs teleport away. It fades in and out of reality as if about to disappear. Okay, so you can somewhat predict the reactions based on how well you know 40k here. So this is a Necron warform. When Necrons get disabled, / damaged, / quote unquote killed, they phase out and return to essentially their essential point to be repaired, refurbished, restored, and come back again. This one has not teleported out, but the Necrons are very careful to keep their tech secret from the rest of us. So we have we can do execute. It may not be deactivated. Ensure it is dead as much as we're able. Extrapolate. Take target to sensor readings of the Necron as it phases out. Or we can extract. Grab the Necron for transport back to the catastrophe Mechanicus, which, by the way, is the name of our ship. The problem is, these are Necrons. If we try to do that, they will go, "Ooh, someone's trying to take our stuff. Let's have it teleport out now." So they have backup systems for that kind of thing. So let's try for some data, shall we? Extrapolate it. Data received. Cogitating. Error 404. Data does not conform to known reality. Known reality correction required. Fascinating. How useful. The cohort also detects various exotic particles and radiation types as the Necron's phasing out process is eventually completed. Unfortunately, all I got from that was +2 cognition points, which has gone to the bar at the bottom here. It says I've got 2 out of 4. And as you already know, I've mentioned this as we went in earlier. Some of the weapons and abilities have cognition costs. So that's their main use. In a fight, cognition points are used to do stuff. And then you don't carry them after deployment. So yeah, they're only useful in the current deployment, basically. Oh, there we go. Awakening tipped up to level 1. Warning, our presence has been detected. Opportunity detected. Necron combat tactics / weaponry / capabilities illuminated. Study required. I'll show you what that is in a moment. Because there's a pop-up up right now, so I can't do it. This chamber shows signs of having been the scene of a brutal gunfight. 2 Skitari, which are the main forces and enforcers of the Mechanicus, by the by. 2 Skitari lie dead, with marks from Gorse blasts all over the walls. We can extrapolate. Salvage what gear you can from the dead. After all, it's a waste to leave it behind. We can examine the chamber for data on the combat that took place here, or eulogize. Say a prayer for the fallen Skitari. The cult Mechanicus exhorts its soldiers to memorialize their losses. I think... Well, these guys are basic and we're just starting out, so the odds are they're not going to have anything decent on them. Or what they do have is probably damaged as well. Examine the chamber for data on the combat. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to be data focused on this one, I think, a little bit. Necron's mere automata equals false. Analysis. Necron's combat capability greater than or equal to trained human troops. A shame. Live fire combat exercise impossible. Must remain a dream. You can see where Skyvola's priorities lie. And that also granted 2 CP. Okay, I have to be careful here, because my CP bar is max now. So if I gain any more CP, it's going to be wasted. This is the other drawback of gaining CP wandering around. Oh well, let's move on. That's our objective, so let's push over this way. Pushy, pushy, push, 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 push. Okay, we've got a glyph room. It's a different one. A single port designed for a Necron Canotech creature extrudes from the device. And we have no indication, once again, what's good and what's not. So let's go for this one. Ah! I chose wisely. It gave us 48 Blackstone, which is the material we use for leveling up and for deploying troops. So, excellent. And our last port of call in this direction. We get extra awakening. Extra Necrons are appear in battle now. Speculation. Tombs possess autonomous repair / defense / maintenance capabilities. A further study equals yes. Have some collected for me, Faustinus. Chamber has suffered damage from shifting landscape above. Several dozen tiny beetle-shaped constructs are scurrying about industriously as they repair the damage. These are the scarabs, by the way. So I can ignore them. No time for such deviations in the mission. Ignore the scarabs. We can acquire them, collect a couple of the scarabs for study, or we can acquire plus. Attempt to collect several of the scarabs. It's how they act as a group that the greatest insights will be found. Well, this is incredibly dangerous, but I guess I'm a reckless sort. Information and all that. So, only a couple. No, we want a group, ideally. So, acquire plus. Let's see what we do. Conclusion commences. Scarabs not individual constructs, but resource of the tomb itself. Whole tomb is form of Necron construct. Commence formulation. Wondrous kaleidoscope of hypotheses. Oh, that was very rewarding. 86 Blackstone. With some difficulty, the cohort herd a dozen or so scarabs into a specimen vault and crammed them inside, sealing the vessel. More scarabs swarm out from previously unseen aperture, revealing them they must have a system of passageways throughout the tomb so they can be sent where needed. Luckily, nothing bad happened, but there we go. Anyway, yeah. 1 eye, our presence has been detected. 2 eyes, extra Necrons in battle. That means that more enemies will appear in a fight. And as the tomb continues to wake up, it's going to get worse, but we're almost through this one. There's one more to hit, which is this. Okay, Skyvola. Self-preservation versus curiosity. Conflict unresolved. Desirous of knowledge what purpose chamber serves. Chamber head is lined with green cylinders, each pulsing with power. The air is thick and greasy, and arcs of static electricity leap from the cohort's extremities as they approach. This chamber is almost certainly extremely dangerous, but it is also the only way forward. So we can attempt to shut them down. We can move through the chamber with extreme caution, carefully monitoring the energy levels, or we can study them, try and understand the purpose. Shutting down removes the chance of careful observation. Quote unquote, careful observation. Slow and steady. Well, there is another effect that we've not touched on yet, which is tactical advantage or disadvantage. Less than an overall initiative rating, which applies to battles, though we've not seen any changes to it yet. I'll show you where that is in a moment. But slow and steady, anything that implies we slow down usually means the Necrons are going to get an advantage out of it because they'll be able to see us doing it. But I'm going to go and study this device, study this room. Okay, that went well. The awakening is increased by 1 point, and we've lost 2 points from our other tech priests. Observation alone is not enough to understand the function of these energy-hungry devices. In attempting to dismantle one, of course, tech boys. Tech priests, they tried to dismantle one. In attempting to dismantle it, the cohort is subjected to a blast of plasma that burns and irradiates them, followed by a cascade of exotic particles that teleports them to a different chamber. They rue the questionable decision to examine these machines closely as they make their way back to the mission's path. All I can say to that is whoops. Anyway, yeah, I mentioned initiative down here. Initiative advantage. In battle, the turn order is dictated by initiative. So if the Necrons have an advantage, their units go for sooner. If we have the initiative, our units go sooner in a given turn. It doesn't affect the overall number of turns we get, though. Though with that said, I'm afraid I'm going to have to call it there because we've spent longer on setup and this initial exploration than I thought. So we are past the half-hour mark just, but we have only just reached the end of this tomb, and we'll be getting into our first fight in the next part. So I'll call it there, and we get to see some extremely violent Cogboy on Necron action in part 2. This is Blind Mark 3. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying the show, and I'll catch you all some other time. See you all later.